Hi guys, it's Kathy. I hope you're doing well. Special live stream tonight because Lena's asked for it. Lena slightly suggested that I should stream today, so boom. I don't know what I got. I got a reunification case while I was working yesterday, so I've not watched it. Don't have any idea what it's about, but it's in Texas. I know the mother has passed away, so she is not involved in this at all. It's just the father, and I don't think he's complying, but I don't know. We're gonna find out together. Let's go.
And said that the pills could have been laced with meth and cocaine.
I'm so sorry. Hi, Bill. I did say hi to you in my head, but then when I started my live stream, I started talking and forgot about everything. And Florida top bunk, ouch, ouch. Use lidocaine. Go get some lidocaine spray. Okay. Now we'll go.
So he did admit that part.
Okay. Did you have an opportunity to discuss? Well, let me strike that. And so, was he violated under the terms of his probation? Well, let me strike that.
It is a violation. Yes, we had him signed up to do a drug and alcohol evaluation to possibly be evaluated for other types of programs that we have.
Okay, and did he follow through with that?
No.
Okay. And did you have an opportunity to discuss any mental health diagnoses or mental health services during your conversation with him?
Client reported he was with TPC in the past, but the medications made him feel like a zombie, so he stopped taking them.
Okay.
And he said he doesn't want to do TPC. TPC stands for the Texas Panhandle Centers for the Mental Health Services. He said because the doctors just want to shove pills down his throat, and that's why he doesn't want to take them.
Okay. And was that concerning to you?
Yes, I did let him know that just because he gets on medication doesn't mean he has to stay on medication. I told him he probably needs to go back to the TPC services to speak with the case manager and the doctor about how the medications made him feel so that they could be adjusted and be used accordingly. That's a medical program that he and his doctor would have to come up with, but just to simply stop taking the medication was not a good thing.
Okay. And to your knowledge, has he done any of that follow-up?
I don't know. That's where his CSO Coker would be involved, and she's here in my office also.
Oh, okay, great. Thank you. Okay. And did you have so you only met with him the one time. You didn't have any subsequent conversations with him, is that right?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
Because that point was reassigned. Sorry.
Okay. Are you aware if Ms. Coker met with him following that conversation?
Yes, on several occasions.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay. It's my Harry Potter coffee mug because Lena's wanted the stream, so I got my Harry Potter coffee mug out, even though it's severely chipped and old. Okay, so what I can understand is he's a lawyer. Jeff Hill is a lawyer. Eugene Graff, I think, is the state. Obviously, that's the judge. And I think Zalva is the other lawyer. This is the father. I think this is the guardian ad litem. I could be wrong, guys. I was working. And she has a thick accent, which is amazing. The people we're talking to now. Okay, I know it says Brenda's Sylvester, but that's not Brenda's Sylvester yet. I think she leaves. The black spot that we're talking to now leaves, and then another person comes in the same room, and that's Brenda. So we're gonna hear two people here, and I think they're like, I don't know, they might be from the probation office. I'm not 100% sure. I do not know who Heidi is yet. She's a supervisor. I don't know of what. I do not know who Brandy is, and I do not know who Crystal is. That's the judge. So, lawyer, lawyer. I don't know which one is his lawyer, but I really don't think it's her. And I think this is a lawyer. This is the state, I think. And this is the father, Anthony.
All right, pass the witness.
All right, then, Mr. Hill.
No questions for this witness, Judge.
Okay, Ms. Duvall.
No questions, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, then, is this witness free to go on about her business? I know we're on one computer. We've got another witness right there.
Yeah, if Ms. Coker is going to use Ms. Sylvestre's computer, that would be my request, but Ms. Sylvestre is free as far as I'm concerned, Your Honor.
No objection.
No objection.
All right, then, Ms. Sylvester, you are free to go ahead
My bad. That was Miss Sylvester. Now Miss Coker comes to this square.
and go on about your business as long as we can hand your computer off to Ms. Coker.
All right. Thank you, Your Honor. And here she goes.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, then, is that your next witness, Mr. Groff?
Yes, Your Honor, please. Thank you.
Okay. Ms. Coker, if you will, raise your right hand for me.
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you'll give today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
All right. And Ms. Coker, I should have asked Ms. Sylvester as well, but you are both officers of the court. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. So even though we don't have video with you, you understand the oath you've just taken.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Okay. All right. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Ms. Coker, for being here. Who are you employed by?
I am employed by Potter County Community Supervision and Corrections Department.
Okay, and you're a corrections officer then also?
Thank God for Kit Kat. Okay. Judge, got that one right. State, got that one right. Or county, state. Anyway, this is the guardian ad litem. This is GAL, not Olga. I don't know who Olga must be. I don't know who Olga is. She's an attorney, but I don't know for who.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and how long have you been employed in this capacity?
Well, I've been an officer for 33 years, but I've only been here since April.
Okay, and what type of education and training do you have for this position?
I have a bachelor's degree in criminal justice, and I'm also certified by the state of Texas to be a community supervision officer.
Okay, and then you have, sounds like, 3 decades of professional experience. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and do you have any particular specialties within that position, or is it just a generalized license?
Well, I've been a certified substance abuse felony punishment facility officer, but here I don't work in that capacity. I just have a regular caseload.
Okay, and then are you familiar with Mr. Anthony Otero Bunker?
Yes, sir, I am.
And how do you know him?
Well, I took over the supervision of his injury to a child supervision on May the 5th of 2025.
Okay. And was that, do you know the circumstances of the underlying conviction? Did that involve his own son?
Yes, it did.
Okay. And how frequently have you met with Mr. Bunker since you were assigned?
I have seen him on May the 28th of 2025. And then I saw him on June the 2nd of 2025.
Okay.
I
And
spoke to him on the telephone yesterday.
okay, thank you.
Mhm.
And then during any of these conversations, did you have an opportunity to discuss drug test results with him?
Yes, when he came in on the 28th, we discussed the one that he had done with Officer Sylvester, where he basically told me the same thing, that he had purchased some pills, had taken them, and that they could have been laced with cocaine and methamphetamine. But he denied any use.
It
Did
was
he
an
have any
accident.
other reasons that he gave?
It was an accident. I accidentally used meth a whole bunch of times.
during any of the conversations about why he might have tested positive?
When I tested him on May the 28th and he was positive for methamphetamine again, he told me that somebody could have possibly broken into his house and put it in his food.
Okay.
That could be possible.
Did he on that occasion?
That sounds possible. Someone breaking into your house and putting meth right into your food. They actually picked the food that you were going to eat that day because they knew ahead of time?
Or any other occasion give you cause for concern about any possible mental health issues?
Well, he appears, I mean, I'm not a mental health professional, but there has been history in the past where he received services for mental health issues, and he had told me that he wasn't at the time taking any of his medications.
Did you observe any behaviors that were concerning when you met with him in person or when you spoke with him by phone?
When he was in my office, I have a Scentsy kind of a thing from Bath and Body, and he pulled it out of the wall and was smelling of it and then just threw it down in the floor. So
Okay.
I found that to be strange and maybe concerning.
And is that a plug-in air freshener
Yes.
type device? Okay. Did you happen to talk with him about it?
No, I
He
didn't
didn't
really
like
say
that.
much to him about that.
Okay. Ms. Sylvester talked about a referral for an updated substance abuse assessment. Do you know if he's done any follow-up or for either substance abuse or mental health evaluations?
When he was in my office on the 28th, he had already previously been scheduled, and he had rescheduled that appointment for June the 2nd. He did meet with our substance abuse counselor on June the 2nd, Angela Anderson.
Okay, and are you aware if any recommendations were made from that?
Yes, she recommended that he attend a intensive outpatient program and that he follow up with mental health treatment.
And are you aware if he's done so?
He, after being referred on, we did all the paperwork when he was in my office on June the 2nd. The man from Senecor, I believe his name is Seth, called me on the 3rd, told me that he couldn't do anything without Mr. Bunker's insurance information. He had been trying to text him and call him and to no avail. And then finally on June the 9th, the man from Senecor told me that he had completely stopped responding to him. He finally did do his assessment last week on the 20th. He did it over I don't know if it was over the phone or via Zoom, but he did actually attend the Senecor intake or admission process.
Okay, so it sounds like he's beginning that process, but at this point in time, we're not aware if he's actually if he started it. Would that be a fair statement?
I'm not sure if he started it or not at this point.
Okay. Thank you. That's all I have. Pass the witness.
Mr. Hill?
No question. Yeah, I do have a question. Ma'am, could you clarify on 6/2, you said that Mr. Otero Bunker completed something regarding Senecor. I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said. What?
Yes, he completed the drug and alcohol assessment with our drug and alcohol counselor here on staff.
Okay. And what was the result of that?
Our counselor recommended that he attend and complete a intensive outpatient program.
Because when he thought it was drug and alcohol assessment, he thought he was supposed to assess the drugs and alcohol. So he went in with a full load and just tested them right there. Linus, I got my Harry Potter mug for you. It's really old and it's chipped and it's broken, but it's mine.
And that he go back and for services for mental health treatment.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. I'll pass the witness.
All right, thank you. Ms. Bala?
Ma'am, during any of your sessions with Mr. Otero Bunker, did you ever discuss his son Isaiah?
On his first appointment, I believe on the 28th, that was where he had told me that he had placed him with a friend of his or a lady that he knew. And I asked him why he chose to do that, and he said that he figured that CPS would be called. So he was going to place him elsewhere to, I guess, prevent any issues.
Did he discuss with you at all, Isaiah kind of coming and going from that place several times?
No, ma'am, he did not.
Okay. Pass the witness.
Good. Mr. Groff?
Nothing further from these witnesses, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Hill, any further questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right, then. Any objection to Ms. Coker being released?
No, Your Honor.
No.
Objection.
All right, Ms. Coker, thank you for your time today. You're free to go on about your day's activities. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Groff, who's the next witness?
Thank you, Your Honor. I call Olga Ellis.
Okay, Ms. Ellis, if you'll raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you'll give today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Ellis, are you the assigned social worker for the case involving Isaiah Gonzalez and his father, Anthony Otero Bunker?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and when were you assigned to this case?
I received the case. So the intake was received on May 5th, but I received the case to my workload on May 7th.
May 7th, okay. And how did the department happen to become involved, this family?
The case was received with allegations about neglectful supervision and stating that Mr. Otero was tested positive with alcohol, methamphetamine. I apologize, my English, sometimes I struggle. Methamphetamine and cocaine.
You're doing fine, thank you. And so then did you, after you were assigned on May 7th, did you investigate the case?
Yes, sir, I did.
And what did your investigation entail?
Okay, I went to see the child, Isaiah, at school, same day, and I talked to him, and then I tried to get a hold of Mr. Anthony Otero Bunker at his house. I called him several times, total of 5 times on that day. I was able to get a hold of him over the phone, and we
Stalker.
discussed to see each other the next morning on May 8th. And I went and saw him. I was able to talk to him. Then later on, I tried to meet with him and with a friend of his who was taking care of Isaiah on that day. She went and picked up the child to school and took Isaiah with her. So, but we needed to have a meeting as with Mr. Otero Bunker and his friend, and we needed to do it on that day to come up with a safety plan. Excuse me. And she agreed with taking care of Isaiah, but that meeting never, we were not able to meet because Mr. Otero Bunker kept postponing and not being able to accomplish the meeting.
Okay, so you weren't actually ever able to work out a safety plan?
No, sir.
Okay. And what did you learn during your investigation about Isaiah and his father?
Okay. when I was talking to the child, I mean, he was very calm. I didn't get a lot of concerns from his, during the interview with him. He's a good boy. He didn't make any outcries. Then on the 8th, I talked to Mr. Otero and I addressed the allegations, and he admitted on taking some pills. He says that he misplaced his Tylenol prescribed medication for pain, and he asked a friend for help to get some medications. So he says that he took from 5 to 6 pills that he purchased with a friend of his friend. And he took those pills together with twisted tea. And after that, he said that he felt so bad because he was not able to sleep for 2 days. So he admitted on taking those medications.
Sorry about that distraction.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what your last statement was.
He admitted on taking them from 5 to 6 pills with twisted tea.
Okay, and then you said he said he expressed that he felt bad about it afterwards because why?
Because he was not able to sleep for 2 days.
I see. Okay, thank you. And were you able to? Well, let me for the record. How old is Isaiah?
8 years old.
Okay, and his mother is where his mother alive or is she deceased?
She's deceased. She died on 2016, I believe.
Okay. Is there any other children or is it just Isaiah?
He mentioned that he had a 16-year-old daughter, but he didn't know. He didn't have communications with her.
Okay. And does the family have any CPS history?
Yes. Yes, sir. They are, the department has been involved.
It's for you. It's my Harry Potter mug. It's chipped. It's chipped everywhere, especially on the bottom. And it's old. But it's mine. It's my Harry Potter mug.
Several occasions. Just a minute, please. 2021, Mr. Otero is when he hit his son. And then on 2016, that was with the mother. So on July the 22nd, we received another intake. On March 2023, the department received another case on for same allegations, neglectful supervision. And then in September of 2023, the department received another case on with same allegations about drug abuse and alcohol involved. In January of 2024, we received another case. During this case, the case was transferred to services. During that time, the friend of Mr. Otero Banker was taking care of Isaiah. And that was closed until late on 2024.
Okay, so it sounds like there's been a lot of involvement and substance abuse has been kind of a recurring pattern. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and where is Mr. Otero Bunker living now?
He's living with his mother. The address is 1212 South. I can't recall the.
It's fine. It's fine if he's
Yes,
living
sir. With his mother.
Okay. Do you have any concerns about that living situation?
Oh, yes, sir. I have some concerns. First of all, about Mr. Otero, tested, admitted using the medication, the drugs. And the fact that he's refusing to get tested again. The house, the mother and of Mr. Otero Bunker expressed some concerns about being afraid of him. And because they have some arguments, I received some call outs for in the house several times. And so, I mean, it is very concerning seeing that same pattern of behaviors happen in the household. The mom was asking me for help to get to housing in another place, and I was not able to provide help during that time. So besides that, what the other concern is about the house conditions. I have been told that there are some concerns of bed bugs. And I don't know if I'm not sure if Mr. Otero is working at this moment. So there are several aspects of, concerning situations that I don't feel comfortable with him, take good care of Isaiah.
Thank you for that detailed answer. When was when do you understand to be the most recent call out to law enforcement?
It was just a minute. No, just I don't know what happened to my. Okay, the latest was on June the 12th of this year at 11:34.
In the evening?
Yeah. Honestly, that was in the morning.
Okay.
It looks like. And 2 on April and 1 on May the 2nd.
So in light of that volatile relationship, do you have concerns about the grandmother's ability to be a protective safety factor if the child was placed back in the home at this time?
Yes, sir. But she just started taking medications for bipolar disorder and schizophrenia. And that was a good thing. But I feel like she needs some more treatment for her
Objection,
need.
Your Honor. Objection, Your Honor. This witness has not been shown to have any qualifications regarding issuing some kind of an opinion on what kind of mental health treatment someone needs or doesn't need.
I'll sustain the objection.
Overruled.
Mr. Otero Bunker, I sent a chat, but you need to turn your video on and leave it on.
No, he needs to go to jail and stay in jail, Judge. And overruled.
Okay, Ms.
not
Ellis.
sustained.
So without stating an opinion as to what type of treatment is recommended, it sounds like you do feel like some further work is needed by the grandmother to assess and make sure that her mental health is solid. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then was there, do you have any concerns about substance abuse by the grandmother?
Yes. She admitted that she was getting treated for alcohol use, and she mentioned that on like the weekend before, when I get the case, she had to leave the house because she was having fights with Mr. Otero Bunker. And she says that she went and had some drinks. So she was trying to get better.
Okay. And then as far as Isaiah is concerned, you said he didn't make any outcries. You've described the living situation and your concerns about that and bed bugs. Anything else about Isaiah that is concerning to you?
No, sir.
Okay.
No.
And let's see. So you said you weren't able to do a safety plan, but the child had been informally placed with Mr. Bunker's friend. Did that change at some point?
Well, Mr. Otero, the day when I met with him, that was on the 8th. He mentioned that Isaiah slept that night in the house with him. He called that friend, Brittany, to go and pick him up and take Isaiah with her. And that night, we were supposed to meet at her house to do an evaluation. So he was with her until we received the order to move him under the department.
Did she express reservations about being a long-term placement?
Can you repeat that question?
Yeah.
Please?
Yes. Was she willing to be a long-term placement, or was she just doing it as a short-term as a favor to her friend?
She mentioned several times to me that she wanted to keep Isaiah with her. She mentioned that she wanted something more extent. She says that she was tired of seeing the department giving him some options about getting better. And then again, the child was going back to his house, and she said, I wish I can keep him for a longer period of time.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
She didn't want to do a PCSP then. Her interest would be something more legally long-term, it sounds like.
Something like that. She was, yeah.
Okay. And at any time during your work up to filing the petition, did Mr. Otero Bunker, was he responsive or dismissive of your concerns?
I tried to get a hold of Mr. Otero several times. I mean, via text, trying to call him. She was one occasion I went with my coworker, one of my coworkers, and he closed the door of us. So he was not willing to participate. When I went to give him the notice of removal, he let us in the house, and he told me that he was going to get an attorney. That was the only time he opened the door to us, but he denied to sign any paperwork to me. He kept everything. He didn't want to work with me.
Okay. So that last visit with the friend, was that about the time when she indicated she wasn't willing to do a PCSP? Is that when the decision to file the petition was made?
Yes, that's when that was concerning, because she texted me as well, saying that
The mother passed away in 2016.
he was trying to make arrangements, telling her to work directly with her, not getting involved with the department.
Okay. And so you filed the petition on May 27th?
That's when I received it, yes.
Okay. And have the concerns that you identified at this point in time regarding Mr. Bunker's substance use and behavior and the other concerns identified in the affidavit, have they been mitigated or alleviated at this point in time?
Honestly, I don't think that something is changing with his cooperation.
Okay, so you still, the same concerns you had at the time you filed, you have today, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and do you believe there's a danger to Isaiah's physical health and safety as a result of an act or failure to act by the father?
Yes, sir.
And why is that?
Because the pattern of his behavior. I was reading in the case when he admitted hitting Isaiah. He says that he was so drunk that he blocked his sense, and he was not able to think what he was doing, and that could happen. And I strongly have a concern about in the future if she doesn't, get help.
Okay. And what reasonable efforts have you made to prevent removal?
I try to have a safety plan put in place. Then we try to do the parental child safety placement in place, and he didn't agree to meet with me and his friend.
Okay. Is it contrary to Isaiah's welfare to remain in his father's care at this time?
Can you repeat the question?
Sure. Sure. Is it contrary to Isaiah's welfare for him to remain in his father's care at this time?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And is it for the same reasons you previously testified to?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And did the urgent need for protection require immediate removal?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And have you been able to make any efforts to return Isaiah between the time of removal and today's hearing?
No, sir.
Okay. And why not?
Because he is right now in a safe place, and his basic needs are met.
And is it also because the father has refused to work with you to mitigate?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. And is there a substantial danger to Isaiah if he's allowed to return home today
Yes, sir.
for the reasons identified?
Yes, sir.
Where is Isaiah currently placed?
Is and under San Francis agency, and I'm so very sorry. My mind went blank. It's in that child place.
Okay. And do you have any concerns about that current placement?
No, sir.
Okay. Does Isaiah or his placement need any additional supports at this time?
Not that I've been told. Different.
Is it in Isaiah's best interest for the department to be named temporary managing conservator at this time?
Sorry. Can you please repeat that
Sure.
question?
Is it in Isaiah's best interest for the state to be named his temporary managing conservator at this time?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And is that again for the reasons previously testified to?
Yes, sir.
Okay. There are no pending criminal.
They they said two things, but they didn't say anything. They didn't tell us exactly why. I believe he was hit. The son was hit, so they removed him, and the father is a drug addict.
Criminal charges that we're aware of, are there?
Not that I know.
Okay. And then has either the father or the grandmother or any family member who might have knowledge been asked to complete an Indian Child Welfare Act questionnaire?
No, sir.
Okay. Is there any reason to believe that Isaiah is either a member or eligible for membership in the Native American tribe for the purposes of Indian Child Welfare Act?
Not that I know. I asked and it was denied.
Okay. Thank you. Nothing further. Ask the witness.
Okay, before we pass the witness, Mr. Otero Bunker, I've asked you several times. You need to have your video on throughout the duration of this hearing.
But I don't. Watch.
Okay, leave it on. All right, Mr. Hill.
Thank you, Judge. Ma'am, you stated, I believe, that Mr. Otero placed the child with a friend of his at some point. Is that right?
What he did was he called his friend to pick
I'm just so upset. I so wanted her to say Jess. Yes, he did.
up Isaiah that day and take him with her at her house. And we were going to meet at her house that day.
Okay. And the friend is named Brittany, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So Mr. Otero apparently felt the child would be safe and well taken care of by sending him to stay with Brittany. Would you agree?
He did make that decision to do it because he told me that she used to take care for Isaiah. Sometimes she was picking him up from school and things like that. Yes.
Okay, so Isaiah was familiar with her and had stayed with her previously, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you have any reason to believe that Brittany is not a safe place for Isaiah?
When the child was removed, my coworkers, two of them, went to pick him up at her house, and they perceived a strong odor of marijuana. So one of them asked her about if she was using marijuana, and she says that if she was willing to take a drug test, and she commented that probably she was going to test positive. So that was the concern about leaving him there.
Okay. Do you have any idea if the child? Well, let me start that over. Ignore that, please. So, regarding Mr. Otero Bunker stating that he had taken some pills that he got from a friend, he told you that on May 8th. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Are you aware of whether or not there was anyone in the house with him, that being his mother, during that time period?
He didn't mention that there was somebody there because his mother was at the pavilion, I believe so.
When was his mother at the pavilion? Do you know?
Being honest, I'm not sure. But the mother was not at home during that time. And Mr. Otero says that he was, the child was with him. I asked Brittany if for any chance he stayed with her during the, particular time. And she said, no, he was not with me.
I'm sorry, what particular time? The time when
When-
grandmother was in the pavilion, or the time when Mr. Otero Bunker had taken the pills?
While the Mr. Otero was taking the pills.
And do you know when that time was? I know you said the admission was on May 8th, but do you know when that was that he took the pills?
Let me check my notes, please.
I want to hear more about when he went into her office and took the air freshener out of the wall, smelled it, and threw it on the ground, because that upset him. But I want to know more about that. He's gone again. Judge, contempt of court.
Mr. Otero Bunker, yes, sir. While she's looking.
Maybe it was pumpkin spice. That would explain it.
You have a question?
Okay, sorry about that. Can we break for recess so I can use the restroom, or, we've been sitting here over an hour.
That's fine. We can take a restroom break. So
Okay.
give everybody, 5-10 minutes, something like that.
All right. Thank you, ma'am.
Mm-hmm. All right, then.
Just so you know, I'm not 100% sure there's a verdict. I don't know. I didn't see this. So fingers crossed.
Mr. Hill, any questions?
Judge, I'm sure I do. Ms. Goodman, is it possible to, could you read back the last question I asked? I kind of lost my train of thought.
The last question was, and do you know when that time was? I know you said the admission was on May 8th, but do you know when that was that he was taking the pills? And then she was checking her notes.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I couldn't find exactly that day, but it was like he went to get tested on the 5th, probably. That's between the 1st and the 5th of May.
Okay, so you don't know.
No, sir.
Okay.
Don't remember.
And you also, if I understood you correctly, you don't know when Mr. Otero Bunker's mother was in the pavilion. Is that right?
She was, after she went from, left the house on the 26th
26th of what?
of April,
Okay.
she went to stay at the motel for 2 days. And then she came back to the house, and is what she told me. She had another argument with her son, and she has a neighbor in the back who lives in the back of the house to give her a ride to the pavilion.
So she left. The child's grandmother, Mr. Otero Bunker's mother, left the house by her admission on April 26th to a motel for 2 days, then came back to the house. So that would be the 28th or so, give or take.
It can be possible.
Okay, 28th, 29th.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're saying at that point, you're understanding.
Can you please ask her a yes or no question where she says yes? Yes, it is. Yes.
Understanding is she went to the pavilion at that point.
Is what she told me. She came back to the house and got another argument about money or something, about the rent money, and she decided to go to the pavilion.
And she was there for how long?
She was there for days. From there, on the 16th of May, she was transferred from the pavilion to Senecor.
So she was at the pavilion until May 16th, and then she went directly to Senecor.
Yes.
And the child was with Brittany this whole time, right? Because the child went to Brittany's on May 8th.
Yes, sir.
And the child remained with Brittany until the child was removed on May 27th?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. I'll pass the witness.
All right, and Ms. Zavala, you have any questions?
Yes, Your Honor. So Ms. Ellis, you were talking about previous CPS involvement with this family. In the records, when you went through and reviewed it, is there a pattern of when CPS gets involved, Isaiah being sent to go live with Miss Denny?
Yes.
This judge gives off Judge Manning vibes when she speaks.
And
Yes,
then after the case is closed, he's brought back to live with Dad.
What I recall is that he was back home and Mr. Otero Bunker and his mother, Frances Newton, worked some services. But the case was closed while the child was with them.
Okay, so there's a pattern of CPS being called, Isaiah being sent to Miss Denny, and then the case closing because Isaiah is now with somebody else.
Yes.
Okay, and then there's another call, and then Isaiah gets sent to Miss Denny, and the case closes.
Yes.
Okay, so when you were talking to Miss Denny about being a long-term placement, was her concern, I'd love to be long-term placement, but he keeps going back, that there's no legal orders in place for Miss Denny to keep Isaiah there.
Is what she said. So,
Okay, and so that's why she felt she couldn't be a long-term placement.
Yes, because it was gonna happen the same thing, is
Okay.
what she says.
And you had set up a meeting to try to meet with Dad and Miss Denny to see about one of these safety plans. And at that point, Dad wasn't cooperating?
No, ma'am. He was postponing, I want to say that one day he told me on the 12th of May, we were supposed to meet, and he said that he wasn't feeling well. So we wait for a while, but he never met with us.
So while Miss Denny may have interest in keeping Isaiah there until there's some sort of legal order, she's not comfortable being placed there.
It's what she told me.
Okay. So at the time that this removal happened, there was no place that he could continue staying. Is that right?
Can you please repeat the question?
It wasn't a very good question, and that's okay. Actually, I'm just gonna withdraw that question and pass the witness.
All right, Mr. Groff.
I just had Ms. Zavala asked some of my redirect. I just had one question for you, Ms. Ellis. You said you looked at a list of dates for law enforcement call outs. Was there something more recent as this week that you're aware of a call out being made? If you don't know, that's fine.
The last one was on June 12th, 2025.
Okay, that's what you have in your records then. Thank you. Pass the witness.
Okay, Mr. Hill.
No further questions, Judge.
All right, and Ms. Zavala.
No further questions.
All right, then. Mr. Groff, you have another witness?
I have I'd like to call Ms. Brown just for like one or two questions if she's still with us. Yeah, there she is.
Yeah, she is. Okay. Ms. Brown, you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, I do.
Okay. All right, you may go ahead.
Thank you, Ms. Brown. You're the SFM supervisor, St. Francis supervisor, who's assigned to this case. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And when did y'all get assigned for the ongoing casework?
Oh gosh, it would have been shortly after removal. I don't have the specific date in front of me. I'm sorry.
Okay, but you're familiar with the general facts and circumstances that brought us here today, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Are you aware of any more recent call outs to Mr. Otero Bunker's home since June 12th?
Yes, sir.
What can you tell the court? What do you know about anything more recent?
Yes, last night, Crystal Potts received a phone call from Mr. Otero Bunker. She's going to be the caseworker when she becomes case assignable. And he had called her stating that his mother had just called the police last night. Apparently, his report was that his mom got upset with him because he tripped over a tray table. And so he ended up taking the TV out of the living room and taking it to his bedroom because he didn't think his mom should be comfortable on the couch watching his TV. Then somebody knocked on his door that was a male and asked if he was okay. He said yes. He said he didn't open the door, so he wasn't confident that it was the police, but he assumed that it was. The police had asked him if they could work things out as an adult, and he said yes. He said that he called Crystal because he wanted to call who mattered, and probation was probably busy, so he called Crystal. Shortly after that, his mother called our connection specialist who's working on trying to find some family members for connections for Isaiah. And she had mentioned to her that she did call the police and she wanted help to get out of the home.
Okay. Thank you. Pass the witness.
Okay, Mr. Hill, any questions?
No, ma'am.
Ms. Zavala?
No questions, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, Mr. Groff, any further witnesses?
Thank you. That's when you know it's not a joke. So like when there's a big issue, you know, she cheated on him, he got mad, they got into a fight, he hit her. That's one thing. But he walks by and trips over a TV tray that mom might be using for dinner and gets mad and starts a fight, and he probably hit her. That's a whole nother level of, you know, that this man, he just
Call.
No, Your Honor, the state rests at this time.
All right, Mr. Hill?
Judge, may I have a breakout room with Mr. Otero Bunker?
Certainly. Okay. I'm going to move y'all to put you in room 2.
Thank you.
Or, excuse me, room 3.
Her name is Judge Lanice Bryant, and she's amazing.
Judge, you just kicked me back automatically for some reason.
Okay, hang on, let me try it again.
Thanks.
All right. I'm going to try to put in you to 2.
I don't know how long this is. Let's fast forward. There's Dad back, so it must be good. Their meeting must be over.
Yeah, I have to put my left hand on the Bible, so
Here comes Dad.
here I
Right,
got my
sir.
Bible right here.
All right, sir, do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you'll give today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do, in the name of God and myself. Yes,
All right, sir.
thank you.
Okay, Mr. Otero Bunker, you have been at this hearing the entire time, is that right?
Yes,
And you've heard the testimony
Lies.
from CPS and from the probation officers.
yes, sir.
Do you agree with their assessment that, well, it would be CPS's assessment. Do you agree with CPS's assessment that your child is not safe in your home?
No, I don't agree with that.
What portion of their testimony do you disagree with?
Some of the statements that have been made by other departments like CPS, probation, are not all true. I did not say some of those things. I did not do some of those things. I don't want to exactly pinpoint exactly what they are, but I know
Air
what I
freshener.
know,
Air freshener.
and that's the truth.
Okay, well, you mentioned it, and the probation people testified first, so let's talk about that. Basically, Ms. Sylvester talked about that she was the first probation officer you had, and that you met with her, and that you admitted to meth use after she says you had positive drug tests, and then you admitted to meth and cocaine use. Did you admit to meth and cocaine use to her?
No.
Okay. Do you remember how you responded to her when she said your drug tests were positive?
Yes, I remember.
What did you say?
I said that I had purchased some pills from a friend, and that they could have been laced.
If you smell something burning, he's not doing drugs right now. His Bible's catching on fire.
Okay. Ms. Coker, the second probation officer that says she met with you on May 28th, and she claims that you tested positive for meth again on the 28th. Do you remember how you responded to her?
Yes.
And how was that?
denied that I didn't know why I'm still getting tested positive, and that we worked out a plan to me to do intake with some type of rehabilitation. They had suggested, I forget, Angel something. And I was like, well, what about Synacor? Because I'm familiar with Synacor, and Synacor's here in town, and my son's here in town. So I didn't want to I didn't know if that Angel one was out of town, but I suggested Synacor, and I'm doing everything that I need to do.
Okay. Did they agree to Synacor?
Yes.
Okay. And then, according to Ms. Coker, you had a meeting with her on June 2nd, and you completed basically, I guess, the drug and alcohol assessment. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And according to her, the assessment said that you needed intensive outpatient treatment, and then recommended mental health services with TPC.
Yes.
And have you taken steps towards getting intensive outpatient treatment from Synacor?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so did you complete the admission process on the 20th?
Yes.
And are you scheduled to start the intensive outpatient treatment program?
Yes. I had just gotten a call right before I got on the stream to call back Synacor and speak with this guy Keith about when exactly I'm going to have my meetings, one-on-ones or groups or whatever they decide.
Okay, so they haven't exactly told you what the first date of whatever is going to be yet, correct?
Correct.
Okay, they just said we're getting it organized and getting it ready.
Yes.
Okay, you plan to do that and follow through with that?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And also, I did receive a call back yesterday from TPC that I was planning on calling back today. So hopefully we can, before the close of business today, I can call them also.
Okay, so you reached out to TPC as was recommended as well.
Yes, sir.
So regarding placement with Brittany Denny, did you why did you place Isaiah with Brittany?
I was in fear that child services was going to get involved after there was calls to the police.
Okay. Did you feel like Isaiah was in any danger at your house, or you just felt like it'd be better if he wasn't there?
It'd be better because I just felt safer that if something did happen and someone called the police, that he wouldn't be here to be like, oh, there's a child in the home, and so.
Okay. Now, regarding his safety, when these pills that potentially could have been laced with something, when did that episode take place? When did that happen?
When did what happen again?
The pills that you got from a friend?
That had to be before the 5th of May, so I believe that was the 4th.
Okay. And was Isaiah still in the home at that point?
No.
Where was he at that point?
He was with Miss Denny.
Okay. When did he go? When did you place him with Miss Denny?
It was before May the 4th. I know that. He had been staying the night off and on. Her kids would stay, my kid would stay over there. It was just, we've always, been close friends. And
okay. So he wasn't in the house when you had the problem with the pills?
no, sir.
Okay. Regarding your mother, had she been in the pavilion?
To my recollection, yes.
Okay. And the dates that Ms. Ellis testified to, were those fairly accurate, or do you have reason to dispute those dates?
I would have reason to dispute those dates because I don't know the exact dates of anyone else's stuff but mine.
Okay, well, what are the dates
I don't know of what.
that your mother was in the pavilion?
I don't know. That's not my story to tell.
Okay. What dates was your mother out of the house? Do you remember?
No, sir.
Okay.
I know she's not here today.
Why do you believe that this removal is not proper?
Because there's a lot of stuff in the paperwork that isn't true, that all of a sudden Miss Denny is getting blamed for I don't know what exactly. And it's not anyone's fault but myself. So that I relapsed with alcohol and took some pills that I shouldn't have bought. And now, you know, I'm clean, I'm sober, and I don't understand what the situation is except that I'm working the services that I need to work.
And you think you could work those services with Isaiah in the home, and you think he'd be safe?
Yes, sir.
Do you have a volatile relationship with your mother?
I don't know what the definition of volatile is, but you know, everyone argues.
Okay. Do you think that's a problem for Isaiah when you and your mother are both in the same house?
No, I don't know what the problem is. I know it's not me, so I don't know. I can't speak on her behalf, sir.
Okay. But you don't think there's any danger to Isaiah when the two of you are in the house together, you and your mother?
No.
You said there were some things in the paperwork you disagreed with. Are there any specifics that come to your mind?
Just the whole reasoning of everything, that no one's gotten my side of the story. And now that we're, you know, in a court of law, that I mean, I'll get cross-examined, examined by, you know, the whoever else that needs to ask me questions. And
Okay, so this is, and I think you understand that, but this is your chance to tell your side of the story. Is there anything else that you need, that you believe that the judge needs to hear from you?
probably that my mother shouldn't be living in this house
Okay.
at all anymore.
Is it your house or her house?
Well, it's not my house. It is a house that is rented under my name, and it has her as a
tenant?
Resident or a tenant, and my son also.
Okay, so you lease or rent the house,
He's
but
a liar.
the lease is in your name.
Liar.
Yes.
Okay,
Liar.
so it's not like
Liar.
you're living
He's
in
lying.
her house. She's living in your house.
Yes, sir. And that's what the police had explained to her, that he can't say who I can have over, and that's why she had called the police. And I don't understand. When I explained to her, I don't know what her problem is.
Okay, so if she is problematic to the household, do you have any plans to ask her to leave?
I mean, if a problem arises, then if she doesn't leave, then me and my son would.
Okay. Are you employed?
Yes.
What do you do?
I work at Diamond Concessions up at Hodgetown Stadium.
Okay, so you're gainfully employed. You have enough money to pay your bills and take care of your son.
Yes.
You have a vehicle that's good and safe for transporting.
Yes, sir.
So if your child needs to go to the doctor or hospital, whatever, you have no problem getting him there.
No, sir. I don't have a problem at all.
Okay. Presume you have a cell phone. If the ambulance need to be called, you could make that call.
Yes, sir. I get so confused on where exactly I'm supposed to look. I'm looking at you, and then it's making my eyes look down. Like, do I look straight at the camera? Like,
You look
Where
anywhere it makes you comfortable. Go ahead and look. There's no right answer to that one.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking at you speak. Maybe if I turn it to the side here. Oh, that's better.
All right. So is there anything else that you want the judge to know that I haven't asked you?
Just that the last thing that I spoke with Keith at Cinecor is saying that I am going to take a UA tomorrow and I have to go in person to Cinecor tomorrow. So, and I told him I don't have a problem with that and I will be there tomorrow.
Okay.
And that I hope that if there's any discrepancies on this hearsay, that the witnesses say something now.
Okay. So it sounds like if you're participating with Centacor and trying to participate with TPC, it sounds like you're saying, hey, look, I don't mind working some services, but taking my son away from me while I do it is not the right answer and not appropriate. Is that, am I interpreting the situation correctly?
Yes, sir. And also the reason I've been so, I guess, dodgy or whatever the word is with child services and now with St. Francis, but I'm smoothing that over, is because I had, once Isaiah's with in Brittany's care, I had said, can we do that Texas law where, you know, she becomes the custodial parent until she decides the right time for me, because she's been my friend for so many years, since October of 2017, that when she has felt that I am good and stable, that she could have, you know, given Isaiah, I guess, just, I mean, I could have revoked it at any time. And, you know, she had said that, oh, I needed a notary to do that. And I was like, no, you don't need a notary to do that. If I'm the legal parent and I'm giving you permission, and then now stuff is being said on her name that isn't true. Now stuff is being said on my name that isn't true. And dates and discrepancies and all that, it's getting really, very jumbled. And I know that I'm safe, I'm stable, I'm good, I'm at home, my bills are paid, and everything is getting taken care of on the end of, if I need help, which I am getting help to handle what I need to handle, except I'm very stressed and depressed that my son is not home. And that's, the medication helps, but it breaks my heart every single millisecond, however you want to go, infinity, until he isn't home. And I try to piece it together every day just to put a smile on my face and be like, hey, what's up? You know, to anybody, or hey, how's it going? Or hey, you know, sending links to this YouTube live stream, which is fine. But when it's discussing matters of HIPAA, talking about Cinecor, talking about the pavilion, talking about my son, like it upsets me very much that we are violating so many laws, when I asked politely and the right way through you, sir, to have this hearing closed.
Okay, Mr.
Whoever,
Tara Bunker, we've covered that, and I've tried to explain it the best that I can. That the law in Texas is that court proceedings, with certain exceptions, are public, and so a virtual hearing is no different.
okay, that's
So
fine. I mean, my
you know,
higher power is God and Jesus, and I know that He knows the truth.
Is there something else that you want to tell me about the health or safety or well-being of your child?
No, not that.
No, he's not here to discuss that, Judge. He's here to discuss how everyone else is wrong with him. It has nothing to do with his son.
I need to say that he is safe as he is at St. Francis as he is at home.
All right, sir. Okay, Mr.
Thank you,
Hill, do
Miss.
you have any other questions for him?
Thank you, Judge.
No, ma'am, I'll pass the witness.
Okay, Mr. Graff.
No questions, Your Honor.
All right, and Ms. Zavala?
I was a little confused. You've talked a lot about the pills that you bought. So when you tested positive again on the 28th, had you taken those pills again?
I had taken my prescription. I don't know if, like, they said someone could have broken in my home, changed the prescription. I don't know, but I know I trust my neighbors.
It was me. I did it.
I know I trust anyone that I've come in contact with, whether it's at work or driving down the street. I trust the city of Amarillo, but I don't know, man.
So you think the reason you tested positive on the 28th is because somebody broke in and put
I mean,
pills?
they're saying that's what I said, but I didn't say that.
Okay, why is it that you think you tested positive, in a totally separate test on the 28th?
I don't know.
What is the plan to address the bed bugs and the bugs in the house?
I'm waiting on the landlord. I spoke to him Friday of last week. He's supposed to be sending his maintenance guys to come spray. I have my own spray that I've sprayed. I have not seen any bed bugs until that day I went to a meeting at St. Francis, and there was one on the top of my hat.
So when you came into the St. Francis office, you had a bug or some bugs on you?
A one bug. And believe me, I have cleaned, I've looked through the whole house, and I have not seen any more bugs, ma'am. But
Have you punched your mother when y'all have had disagreements?
no, ma'am.
Is it normal for a child to experience law enforcement coming out on a regular basis?
No, ma'am.
Is
He
there
hasn't been. I'm sorry, go ahead.
is there a reason why you wouldn't cooperate in order to do the placement with Miss Denny?
That's not true. Who says I didn't cooperate?
I'll pass the witness.
All right, Mr. Hill?
No further questions.
Okay. All right, Mr. Hill, you have any additional witnesses?
No, ma'am, I'll rest.
All right, Ms. Zavala?
I have no witnesses, Your Honor. I rest.
Okay, and Ms. Zavala, do you have a recommendation to make to the court?
Maybe he didn't actually punch his mother. Maybe there was a bug on her.
Your Honor, I've met with Isaiah in person. He is placed here locally in a children's home. He is doing well. First, I do believe it's in his best interest to remain in the temporary managing conservatorship of the department. He is very interested in exploring a potential placement with Miss Denny. I understand that she had some concerns just about the temporary nature, and I understand that the department has brought up some concerns. I would love to see a home study to see if under a more formalized agreement, if placement with Miss Denny might be appropriate. I know that Isaiah was interested in us exploring that. Short of that, he is doing very well where he is, and I do recommend that placement continue until we can explore this option or any other options that might come forward.
Okay. I appreciate it. Thank you.
And Your Honor, I did have a note that I forgot to mention. If we're going to go forward, I would request a CASA in this case, if at all possible. I know sometimes they have a wait list.
All right, I'm making it. Okay. I'd like to have a quick bench conference with the attorneys. Let's see. I'm just gonna move everybody to room 1. Mr. Groff, you can put yourself back in 1.
Your Honor, Judge.
First, she's in a breakout room with the attorneys, so she can't hear you. They'll be right back.
Okay, well, I'm gonna stop my video and mute my phone.
Okay.
Look at what we are talking about. And if Ms. Denny, for some reason that doesn't work out, he would like the opportunity to submit another name or two, which is, fine, as long as we can get that pretty timely. So I want to give this sufficient time to see if we can't get this resolved. What kind of time frame does the department need to try to visit with Ms. Denny? And
I think we would like at least a week. St. Francis, until Your Honor issues a final ruling, I guess our position is St. Francis is still involved. And so I think St. Francis has indicated they would prefer 2 weeks. And my client, I would also just put on the record, my client would like to do the walkthrough, but also, if there are concerns, reserve the right to at least, put any objection on the record when we reconvened, if that's okay with Your Honor.
sure. So are we talking about 1 week or 2 weeks?
I think the preference would be 2, if we could have 2 weeks.
That's a long time to leave it kind of hanging fire. Let's see if we can't. Let me just.
We could do 1 week if we need to, Your Honor.
Let me just kind of look at the calendar real quickly. Hang on. Miss Katie we're talking about possibly doing this as a court ordered service case. So, they need a little time to look at this possible placement, which would be a voluntary placement by the father. Okay, let's look. I'd have to either do it next Tuesday on the 1st, or we could go as far as the 8th if y'all think you're going to need that much time.
I don't know that so much. I mean, I'll defer to Ms. Brown on that. I could live with the 1st, but I know she had some concerns about potentially needing to go to the 8th. In light of this sort of unusual format, though, I think we could get by with the 1st.
Let's do this. I mean, let's try to reconvene on the 1st. Is that feasible? If we need to reconvene on the 1st, and y'all can just let me know. We can put something on the calendar. If you need it, great. If you don't need it, we can do it by email.
Yeah.
Super. Won't drag everybody else back in here. If if you need a little more time, then, we could probably cover that by email too. So we're probably talking about, if we're going to set it, it'd be that afternoon, like at 1:00, but if you need more time, communicate that to us. We can probably handle that by email. If we need a record of something or need to all get on Zoom, then we'll do it like at 1:00 on the 1st, but maybe we don't even need it or she's saying maybe 1:30.
Yeah, 1:30. That would sure work good for me, Judge. I can't really do the morning.
And Mr. Hill's client just indicated he would like to do the 8th, not the 1st. I don't know if everybody saw that, but he just put that in the chat.
Do you have a conflict on the 1st, sir?
There's no conflict. Well, yeah, let's go with the 1st, Your Honor.
I just I don't want to leave it just hanging. And if somebody's got good reason why then we need to push it past the 1st, I'll certainly look at that.
Well, just so Isaiah could be back with either Miss Denny or someone that I can find before that so I can celebrate the 4th of July with him.
Yeah. So, let's shoot for the 1st, see where we're at.
Yes, ma'am.
And then we'll try to make it happen. Obviously it's better.
You don't always got to shoot things in Texas.
For Isaiah that if we can do this, the sooner the better.
Yes, ma'am. That was my thoughts, but I was thinking something different in my head that has nothing to do with dates. I apologize.
It's okay. All right. I'm the goal here is to do what's best for Isaiah. So, all right, let's see if we can't kind of get all the pieces put together in the puzzle by the 1st. And,
what a waste of time. Everybody knows what's best for Isaiah.
You all can communicate to us and let us know kind of where we're at and whether we need to do that on the 1st or not. And then, I hope it'll work out.
Yes, ma'am. Is there anything that you can suggest that I could do to expedite the sooner the better that Isaiah is in the care of someone?
Yeah, absolutely, sir. When someone tells you not to do drugs, don't do that. When someone says they have to meet with you to make a family plan, a safety plan, I'm sick is not an excuse. Go and meet with them. You're not too sick for your son ever. I don't care how sick you are. You can just do what you're told. That's all you have to do. They tell you exactly what to do. It's not like a pop quiz. They give you exact steps on exactly what you need to do.
Well, we got to determine who that's going to be first. And then, the main thing is just stay in contact with your lawyer, stay in contact, take the department, people's phone calls, let's all work together to see if we can't make this work.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So I'm just going to recess and reserve any ruling in this matter.
Mayo, please come to the podium. Nathan Long, please go to the chair.
Yes. Maricopa.
Hello. And sir. Okay, and you also have a probation violation case and a new case.
Yeah, technically.
Yes.
I am on probation.
Yes, you're on probation and you have a new case. So on the new case.
In his defense, this guy's defense, he was just picked up. Within the last couple hours, he was just arrested, or last night or something. It wasn't like, this guy has not been in jail for a long time. So the only thing that makes any sense with this guy is he's probably still just wasted. Maybe. I don't know.
You are being charged with, let me get your full name, please, first.
Carlos Samayoa.
And your middle name is Humberto?
Humberto. Mhm.
And your date of birth?
December 12/13/2000.
Thank you. And and that is the same name and date of birth on both of them.
Yes.
And you're being charged with 1 count of criminal damage as a class 4 felony. I am appointing counsel to represent you. You have a status conference set on June 2nd at 8:30 a.m. and a preliminary hearing set on the same date and time. You have, I'm setting a secured appearance bond in the amount of $250, and if you are to be bonded out, the adult probation officer is to supervise you upon your release. You are not to return to the scene of the alleged crime. You are not to initiate contact with the alleged victim or victims. I understand that is your father. Father's
Yes,
home.
my dad.
Yeah. Do not go back there. You're also, I'm not sure if you live there or not, but you are not to reside at the same location as him. You are not to go back to the residence, even if you are owner or renter of the residence.
Yeah.
You must provide alternate residence. And however, you are allowed 1 civil standby with a law enforcement officer in order to permit you to collect your belongings. Okay?
I do have an HOA where I can just fix from a phone call, so I just don't show up there.
I just said no. You cannot.
And
you cannot live there.
No, I don't live there. I was just, if I'm honest, I was just wasted, and
Okay, again, you don't want to talk about the.
I just want to be released on my own recognizance.
Okay, I'm not releasing you on your own recognizance.
No probation. My probation officer just saw me 3 days ago.
Okay, I just said I'm not releasing you.
Okay.
Okay, we're not done.
Yeah.
He has another case for me to also talk to him about. Okay, I'm explaining to you, I am not releasing you. Okay, and you don't want to talk about the incident, about what happened, because we're being recorded, and whatever you say may be used against you at your trial. Okay?
Yeah, I'm just being completely
But I'm just letting
honest.
you know that you
What it
can.
is.
Okay. And that is admirable. However, it's also something that you just don't necessarily want to be used later on against you. Okay? I have appointed counsel to represent you, so you want to be able to talk to your counsel to get their advice about things that you should and should not say. Okay? I'm the judge. I can't give you advice. I'm just letting you know, though, that right now, don't talk about the facts.
Okay. And
okay. But I am saying that you cannot go to that residence. That is my order as part of release conditions. If you bond out, you cannot go back to that place. Do you understand? That is my order. And the adult probation officer, your adult probation officer I'm making it an order that they're to supervise you upon your release. Because initially, one of the recommendations was that they wanted pretrial services. But since you already have probation officer, it's like pretrial services should not be supervising you since we already have probation department.
it's my apartment, so I don't know.
Okay, I'm explaining to you right now, you cannot go to that. You cannot go to the scene of the crime. You cannot go to your father's house or your father's apartment. Do you understand? You can go to your own apartment. You cannot go to his
My girlfriend
apartment.
is pregnant 2 weeks.
I do not care. You cannot go to that address. You can go to yours. If it is the same address, you cannot go to, you have to find a new address. That is my order. You must find an alternate residence if you live at the same place.
I don't live there.
Okay,
I have my own house. I have my girlfriend. She's
then go elsewhere. Then just stay there. That's all I'm saying.
That's my plan. I just want to sleep it off.
Okay, you can't.
Go home.
You go someplace else.
Talk to my PO and see what she wants to do with me.
Okay, well, right now, I'm telling you, that was for the new case. Now for the warrant, for the probation violation, basically you are now page 2 for violating and for having a new crime. They're saying that you violated your probation. I am going to appoint counsel to represent you in this case as well. You have probation revocation hearings set on June 2nd at 8:30 a.m. and I'm setting a bond in the amount of $100. Okay? Just go to the left and you'll get your paperwork for both cases. Nathan Long, please come to the podium.
Okay. Sometimes I get a clip, right? And I start recording because I so want it to be good. I just want it to be a great clip. And it's not. So I'm going to start this clip, but we're not going to watch it because it's really boring. But I got to show you this hair. It's beautiful hair. And really spot on hair. Ready? I wanted it to be great. And it isn't. They are.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are.
Whoops. That's all I wanted to show you anyway. And then this guy. We get some nurses up in this joint in my chat. We get some nurses. You nurses are going to love this. It's full of medical issues. If you think you have a lot of medical issues, you just don't.
Victims wish to make any statements?
I checked with them. They did not, but no, they still do not. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Bedard.
Judge, we have spoken at length about the rationales behind this resolution. This is a just and fair resolution based on the unique circumstances surrounding this case. This court is aware that although Mr. Cheeseman is not dead, he will never leave a hospital bed again. He is tetraplegic. He's developed a condition called dysreflexia autonomic, which causes heart palpitations that can also cause heart attacks and strokes upon being touched by a sheet. Mr. Cheeseman has entered into this plea agreement. He has taken accountability. I believe the extraordinary circumstances that this court is aware of justify this resolution. I would ask this court to accept this resolution and to sentence Mr. Cheeseman according to the resolution.
It's right here.
I'll point out for the record that he does
Right
have
there.
932 days pre-sentence confinement.
It's literally
And
right
as for the
here.
restitution?
Judge, if I could have one more follow-up to speak with Mr. Cheeseman about the exact amount. I've seen the packet, I've reviewed it. I did receive it after my last visit with Mr. Cheeseman. And the last time I visited him, it was on an emergency and I did not have my computer with me. So if the district attorney wants to file something, I could probably file something in writing as to whether or not we accept or object. Frankly, I don't know that there's going to be an objection, but I do need to speak with Mr. Cheeseman about the specifics.
Very much appreciate the legislature's attempts to clarify restitution. I'm not exactly clear on what they wrote. It's my reading that if I'm reading it correctly, prosecution would have 63 days from today's date to file something, and then I'd have 63 days within which to order it. Is that how the DA is understanding how they're doing it now?
I apologize, Your Honor. I'm not fully aware.
All right, I think that's it. Sounds like you've got it. Let's just have you file it within 49 days.
I can do that.
And when you file it, hopefully you'll be able to have a statement of consultation in there with the defense indicating no objection. If there is an objection, written objection is due within 2 weeks after the filing of the restitution motion. And then once I get the objection, we will set it for a hearing and deal with the objection and get that done within the statutory time frame.
I'm confident Mr. Bedard and I can communicate and I can have his position to the court in my filing as well.
I think we could do that.
All right, Mr. Cheeseman, you have the right to tell me things, let me know before I sentence.
I have nothing to say, Your Honor.
Now, the circumstances of this case are, well, the underlying facts are extremely aggravating. This disposition is extremely unusual, and both attorneys did reference the fact that we did speak off the record because I needed to know the justification for this, because normally even under extraordinary circumstances, I probably would never accept such a disposition on a case like this. But these unique might be too strong of a word, but these are the situation presented in this case. I think justifies it, so I will accept it. It was described as fair and just. I don't know if this is fair and just, but it's probably the right conclusion. I will sentence you to 3 years of probation that is unsupervised. The only condition is going to be no new law violations. I will waive fees and costs in this case to the extent that I am allowed by statute. I wish you well, sir. That'll conclude this matter.
Thank you, sir.
So I don't know what he did. It was not good. It was bad. He committed a bad crime. But he's so sick that he's bedbound, I guess, in a hospital for the rest of his life. So he gets unsupervised probation for that. And I don't know what any of those words meant of his medical conditions. I do wonder, though, if they're curable. If he's going to, like, make it through this and then just be out in the street again because he's on unsupervised probation. He said the rest of his life he's going to be in a hospital bed. I don't know. But Linus, I don't know if you're still here because you're watching the baby. Thank you for making me stream today. I appreciate it. Thanks for coming out, guys. I hope you guys have a great Wednesday. And I shall see you all again very soon. No OJ today. Nope. Thank you. Thank you, Nan. All right. I'm going to go take a nap before work. Bye, guys. Thank you.
Got these life echoes, digital dreams. Through the screen, her blue eyes gleam. Wicked humor, sharp as a knife. Her stream sparks electric light. Late night when the world sleeps, she's the friend that always keeps. Giggles roll like thunder loud. She stands out in any crowd. Kathy's laugh cuts through the gloom. Eyes blue like a summer's bloom. Her humor, dark and twisted charm. In a way, there's no alarm. Freedom tales late into the night. Her laughter feels just right. Even when my world turns gray, with a giggle, she lights the way. Her eyes mirror a sky so blue. In her jokes, there's a truth so true. With each stream, she brings the light. Turns dark days into bright. Kathy's laugh cuts through the gloom. Eyes blue like a summer's bloom. Her humor, dark and twisted charm. In a way, there's no alarm. was great. With a giggle, she lights the way. Kathy's life.